I just finished reading the first week's reading for The Artist's Way, and I was not expecting to get as emotional as I did. And I'm filming this directly after my experience because I want to document these feelings fresh. And I'm feeling very nervous about this journey and what's to come. Just as a disclaimer, I am 100% PMSing right now, and I think that is honestly kind of helpful because it's making me more emotional slash like more in tune with my emotions. But the whole first chapter is about like establishing safety in your creativity, and the author has you acknowledge and write down your negative self-talk, and then use those negative self-talk line items to then create affirmations. She also has you time travel like mentally to discover the monsters that put these negative thoughts into your head to begin with. And yeah, it was just really, really tough. It was really tough to even recall all of these memories. She asks you to break your life up into segments of 5 years and identify the monsters within those 5-year segments. I couldn't help but write myself for a lot of this stuff, and I'm wondering if over these weeks I will dive a little deeper to learn like more about that, and if it actually is me or if it stemmed from something else. But I found myself starting to cry when I had to take my negative self-talk and turn it into affirmations. I don't know why that made me so incredibly emotional, but I started to cry as I wrote them because it just felt a little impossible and felt a little, I don't know words right now, but this is gonna be hard. And I just wasn't expecting that. Well, I was and I wasn't. I knew it would be difficult, obviously, because diving into self-work is always challenging. But I think it's compounded with all of the emotions that I've already been having just in the years leading up to right now. It just all feels really overwhelming. So interesting. She also has you write down a story of a time where you think this negative self-talk started. And I think I want to share mine with you guys because I didn't realize how much this event had been holding on to me. And I think I am definitely ready to let it go. And so, and honestly, this may not even be the core issue, but it definitely feels like it in this moment. So when I was in college, I worked under a really successful muralist at the time, and I really enjoyed my time working with him, and I really learned a lot. And while I was still in school, I was given this opportunity to have my own wall, and I took it, and I was really excited about it. And I remember feeling so confused and scared as to what to even paint. I remember feeling like completely blocked and being like, I don't know what to paint. This is going to be my first mural. What do I say? What should it look like? I just didn't know. And I took a couple weeks to like create what I remember being this like patterned, kind of like mandala patterned illustration, I think, that also like had plants in it. Honestly, I don't even remember. But I get to the venue, which is like this abandoned building, and like the event had multiple new artists, like, and everyone got a section of a wall, and it's in this abandoned like event space. And I show up, and I remember putting down my base coat of color, which I think I did in spray paint for some odd reason. And then I went to go and try and start doing the line work over it in spray paint as well, and like realizing that I suck at it. Because even though my mentor was a spray painter, I never really caught on, and I did a lot of like the paint rolling for the backgrounds for him. And so I wasn't a good spray painter, but I thought I would give it a try, and it didn't really work. And so I think I tried to like paint over it with regular latex, and it just like still didn't look good. And mind you, I'm barely gotten any lines down. I'm only just working on this one little squiggle section, and it just was not working. And I'm looking around and I'm panicking because I'm seeing all these other artists like confidently painting on the wall. And I decided to pack up my stuff and leave. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't tell the organizer. I just essentially ghosted the event. And I felt so incredibly stupid because my technique was off. I had no plan, and I failed. And then I ran. And I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't like the hugest deal on earth to those people at the time, but it felt like a huge deal to me, and it was really, really embarrassing. And it took such a huge hit to my artistic self-esteem that I actually felt like I was never going to be able to be a muralist after that. And I felt super unprofessional. I felt like a failure. I felt like an idiot. And I felt like not a good finisher of projects. It's like I started something and didn't finish it, like a flake. And a lot of these things that I'm saying are things that I wrote down for my negative self-talk. Like, that's the type of negative self-talk that I have. And I'm thinking now, through doing this exercise, that I think it stemmed from that event initially, maybe. I never really got over that. I think about it a lot, actually. It's always in the back of my mind, especially if I feel like I'm in a situation where I'm failing or I'm feeling overwhelmed by something. I always think of that time, and I'm always like taunted by it. And in the book, the author says that these moments end up being scabs on your creative consciousness, and they prevent growth. And you have to acknowledge these moments, and you need to sit with these moments and forgive or forget so that you're able to heal and continue to grow. And I just want to not feel bad about that anymore because I was young, I was inexperienced, and yeah, I just don't want that to weigh over me anymore. And I feel proud that I have accomplished the things that I have since then. And I do have a mural portfolio. I did eventually get my first big wall and succeed in doing it. But even within that moment, I was thinking of that event and how much I failed. And I was just like, I'm not going to let this happen again. And ironically, that big mural wall, that first opportunity I got again to like do my own mural was the job that gave me my career. It was the job that allowed me to quit the restaurant industry and pursue my art full time. So I just think that that's such a full circle moment, because that mural that I ended up doing at that hotel was so beyond my reach. But I remember telling myself that I'm going to work within the parameters that I feel confident in. I didn't pick up a spray paint can this time. Like, I didn't use large, heavy equipment. I just had my paints, my paint brushes, and a ladder. And I worked my ass off. I painted for 16 hours straight to get that mural done. And it was a success. And I felt this like immense relief afterwards, because I was just like, okay, I can do this. Like, that moment back in college doesn't define me as a muralist and as an artist and a creative. And yeah, I just want to let go of it. I want to move past it. I want it to stop haunting me. And I didn't even realize for real that it was until I did this exercise. Yeah, so that's just some interesting thoughts that I'm having right now.
Week 2 was a lot more relaxed than week 1, that's for sure. I was really expecting to be knocked back emotionally again by the reading and the writing tasks, but week 2 was a lot more mellow and it required a lot less emotional energy on my part, which I was really happy about. But one thing I do want to note is like, I really enjoy the morning pages. Like, I kind of sprint to them every morning, and I really enjoy just like having that moment with myself to let myself just be and release and think and reflect. It's really, really nice. Please excuse my voice. I think I'm getting a cold, so I know I sound funny. But yeah, another thing that I kind of carried over from week 1 into week 2 was my like dream job, or like, I forget how she phrased it, but essentially she had you write down like a list of professions or skill sets or jobs that you would do if you weren't doing your current job. And one of mine was a cosmetologist, which during week 2 and my writings and my morning pages, I realized that I actually do live out a lot of my like side fantasy life dreams already. It all centers around being creative, honestly, which is kind of my life. And from that realization, I realized that like I already live a very creative life. And I felt happy, feeling fulfilled with that thought. But obviously, like, I'm not feeling super creative like within the medium of art right now. I actually avoided making art a lot in these first 2 weeks, like truly like the plague. Like, the thought of like opening up to a blank sketchbook page was like really, really daunting me and like causing me a lot of anxiety. I did end up breaking through that and sitting down and just like getting a bunch of paintings done. If you watched my last video, you saw. I've noticed that I have been struggling with the like eating, diet, lifestyle, like getting enough sleep portion of this whole process. And I know from previous health journey experiences that those 3 things are honestly such a crucial part of any journey in any transformation. And so I only got to the gym maybe once or twice in the last 2 weeks, and I honestly was really, really bad at the whole diet part and like making sure I was eating. I am really infamous for getting up and just going and not eating my first meal till like well after lunchtime. It's really easy for me to do actually, and that is something that I really want to work on in these upcoming weeks. But yeah, I addressed a lot of stuff already just in these first 2 weeks, and I am really looking forward to moving into next week. I'm not really sure what to expect, but we're going to take it head on. So yeah, let me know if you have read this book before, if you've gone through this creative process or journey before. What are your thoughts? What are your tips? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. And again, sorry my voice sounds so crazy. But I will see you in the next video. Bye.